is Food Stories.
This is Food Stories.
This is Food Stories, a podcast from Fairshare Greater Manchester.
A podcast from Fairshare Greater Manchester.
A podcast from Fairshare Greater Manchester.
Hello and welcome to Food Stories from Fairshare Greater Manchester. Fairshare Greater Manchester is the largest food redistribution charity in the northwest of England, rescuing good-to-eat surplus food from going to waste and redistributing it to charities and community groups who are serving their communities with food. This time we're taking you back in time to spring and a large-scale corporate volunteering event turning surplus food into nutritious meals for those who need it most. Back on the 13th of May, 90 volunteers from socially minded organisations gathered together at Freight Island in the centre of Manchester for the cracking good food Carnival Cook Up. The plan was to turn a large amount of surplus good-to-eat food from Fairshare Greater Manchester into meals to feed people experiencing homelessness. There were 3 dishes on the menu: vegan bean chilli, potato and bean stew and vegetable stroganoff. And the aim was to make 1,500 meals in one go. So that meant an awful lot of chopping, cooking and dishing up.
Hello, good morning everyone. That was a slow response. I just want a little bit more because we're going to get today going properly. Say good morning everyone. I'll take it. Okay, so I'm not going to chat for too long now because you actually all look very eager to get going. I don't know if it's because you're stood up in the aprons, but we also have got a lot of chopping, a lot of washing and stuff to get done. But for now, I'm going to ask a very important question. Are we ready? Yeah. Are we steady? Yeah. Let's get cooking! Off we go!
Every meal being prepared at the Carnival Cook Up was made using surplus food from Fairshare Greater Manchester, rescuing perfectly good food from going to waste and sending it to people who really needed it.
My name's Alex Stewart. I'm a cooking leader and coordinator for Cracking Good Food CIC.
So what's going on here today?
Today we're at Freight Island for Carnival Cook Up, which is Cracking Good Food's initiative to bring together companies around Greater Manchester, independent charities and community interest companies to cook 1,500 meals for homeless charities around Manchester.
And using surplus food in order to do that?
Indeed, we've been generously supplied surplus food from Fairshare for a lot of the cooking, so we've had multiple trays of carrots, parsnips, potatoes, all the kind of root veg you'd expect. So yeah, we're really grateful to Fairshare for providing that for us, and at the moment we're about halfway through. We've cracked through most of the veg prep and we're on our way to getting 1,500 meals ready, thanks to Fairshare and everyone involved.
So what kind of meals are being cooked today?
So all of the food we're focusing on today is vegetarian. A lot of the food we work with at Cracking Good Food is vegetarian. We're trying to promote nutrition, sustainability through eating vegetables. So we're using a lot of curries, a lot of stews. So we've got a lovely vegan bean chilli going on with some jeera rice, which is a cumin rice. We've got some classic English dishes. We've got a really nice hearty bean potato stew with herby potatoes on the side, and we've also got some stroganoff. Really hearty, big volume dishes that we can cook for a lot of people. Utilise as much veg as we can, get it cooled, packed up, and sent off where it needs to be.
And what do you get out of working on a day like this? What's it like for you?
I mean, yeah, it's one of the most rewarding jobs you can have, I think, for me. It's using food effectively, using food that would have otherwise gone in the bin to feed people that really need it. And if you think that's not, an amazing thing to do, it really is. So, yeah, being able to get people empowered to know how to use food waste, being able to share our skills as a company, being able to share our goals with people and spread the word of, sustainable, healthy food and how to make it and how to distribute that to those who need it is really what we're going for here. And we're lucky to have a lot of industry partners. We've got people like Recycle for Greater Manchester here, which, trying to recycle all our cans. We're trying to keep all our soft plastics together. So I think it's just a really nice holistic, let's think about sustainability in a positive way and let's try and get people with the bug.
And today is the first time that you've done one of these. Is the plan to make this a regular occurrence?
Yeah, I think if Tracy can handle the stress of another one, she'll be down for it. No, in all seriousness, this is our first run. I think for our first run so far, we've done fantastically well. We've had great engagement from the companies we're working with and the individuals. Andy Burnham's going to be here as well, which is fantastic. So hopefully, if people see what we're doing makes a difference and what they're doing makes a difference, this will be another run. Hopefully in the summer or in the future. But yeah, fingers crossed that this goes well and Freight Island will have us back and that we all want to get on it again.
Homelessness affects over 7,000 people in Manchester, making access to nutritious food a significant challenge for many individuals and families. Simultaneously, the UK wastes 4.6 million tonnes of food each year. By participating in the Carnival Cook Up, local businesses released members of staff to help address both of these critical issues, providing delicious meals to those in need and preventing perfectly good ingredients from going to waste. Caroline Grant is from Slalom.
We actually feel really passionate about giving back into the community. So each year, May, we focus on a food drive. So our focus is to make sure that nobody goes hungry, and we do it in each of our office locations around the world and make sure that we are having a positive impact on the community. So today we're here to make sure that we're helping to eradicate hunger in Greater Manchester.
And how's it going so far?
It's really good. Actually, we're doing pretty well. We're pretty ahead. I think we'll get to that 1,500 meals by the end of the day. We've got a big team here all pulling together and making sure that we cook up a storm.
What kind of tasks have you been doing so far?
Well, we've got a whole supply chain on the food preparation front. So we're busy making large-scale vegetable stroganoff to be given to the homeless charities around the region. So we are on washing, chopping, basically cooking up and making sure that we end up with some good food at the end of the day.
Of course, there are dual benefits to an event like this, isn't there? We've got the byproduct at the end of the day, which is going to be all these wonderful meals that have been saved from going to waste and are going to go to people who really need it. But equally, it's great for the team.
It's amazing for the team. It's always a bit of a balance because there's always an opportunity cost of not being here, but I'm really passionate about creating moments where the team can come together around a cause that they all three feel passionately about, and it just makes the team much more engaged back in the workplace and much more focused on all the tasks that we have to do and giving that time for them to be able to give back. So I feel pretty passionately about all the other benefits that this kind of thing can drive.
Brilliant. So what would you say to maybe somebody else who hasn't done something like this, who, to encourage them to maybe consider giving it a go?
There is plenty of opportunity and plenty of worthy causes around the region to get involved in, and I do think just making the space from a management perspective, just making the space for the team to be able to do these kind of charity works, even if it's just a few days a year, I think you'll see the benefit both from an employee engagement perspective and ultimately the impact that you're having back on that society.
Ellie West. I'm the marketing assistant at Dunster's Farm.
So tell me a little bit about why you're here, why have you come down and what have you been doing?
So we're here today because we support Fair Share anyway. We're a food supplier in Bury and we supply to all schools, hospitals, restaurants, cafes, and we work quite closely with Fair Share. So when this opportunity came up, we thought it was perfect for us to come down. We've got enough staff behind us that we can lend 15 people for a table.
Fantastic. So what have you been actually doing today?
Oh, what have we not? We've been chopping, we've been boiling, what else have we been doing? Chopping, boiling, grating. We've just been grating cheese. Now we're on washing pots. It's just been brilliant, a really good day. Everyone's really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's the feeling I get off people. It's been a really worthwhile use of their time.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people, I think at first you're a bit hesitant thinking, what am I doing? You know what I mean? But then everyone that's been here, all the team have been saying, let's do it again. Like we've heard, I think there's a winter one and we're already interested in coming back. So it's been worth it. And like I said, with our job, like, the business is always really busy, always like on the go. So it's nice to have a day as a little team just coming out and just getting, helping the community and stuff.
In addition to the corporate volunteers, also in attendance at the event was Wendy Roby, a textile artist from Stockport. Okay, Wendy, so you're an artist. What brings you here today?
Well, I make ink from food waste and plants and minerals, and I met Tracy, who runs Cracking Good Food, at an exhibition that I was doing of artworks that have been screen printed with ink made from food waste and plants. And so I'm trying to show people the kinds of things that you can make, lampshades, arts on paper and textile art, and they're all made using inks that I've made myself. So it's really exciting to me that you can go and buy a bashed up old avocado from Tesco's, eat it on toast, and while you're eating that delicious avocado, you can be making avocado ink in your microwave.
That's incredible. How do you make avocado ink then?
Well, it's one of the quickest natural dye inks to make. You need to clean all of the flesh from the stone and then very carefully chop the stone. I find you get a richer colour if the stones are quite old, so I just collect them in a bowl on my window ledge and find that some of the really old gnarly ones actually produce more vibrant colours. And then you add something called soda ash, which is an amazing ingredient that people would have had in their homes probably 50 years ago, because it's amazing when you add it to your washing, and it will make your washing come out much cleaner. It's a really useful thing to have in the house. You add that to the pot with some water, and that pulls the pigment out of the avocado stone. So you just need a cup of water, a couple of avocado stones and a teaspoon of soda ash, and then you've got avocado ink in about 20 minutes.
That's incredible. Who knew?
well, not me 3 years ago, and then I found an amazing book called Make Ink by Jason Logan, and that's all about making ink from natural materials. The thing that is really exciting to me is that you can go and do something mindful for yourself, like go for a walk and find plants that you don't need to pull off the tree, that can be on the ground, and that you can make art materials for very little money from those things. I just think it's a really fascinating bit of kitchen chemistry that you can do. And it means that the process of making the materials for the art is creative and interesting, and then you can go on and make something creative and interesting with those materials.
So we're rescuing surplus food here today.
Yes.
To make food to go to people who need it most.
Yeah.
But then you're able to use leftovers from that food to actually turn into art as well.
Yeah, so one of the inks that I make is made from red cabbage, and it doesn't take very long, as we all know. Like if you put red cabbage, you chop it up and put it in some water, it starts to release that beautiful purple colour almost straight away. So what I would do is chop up some red cabbage, put it in the microwave, pull as much colour out of it as I can, but not kind of overcook it, so that then I can then pickle that red cabbage, which then sits in my fridge and is a delicious topping for salads and kebabs and things like that. So I can still eat the red cabbage, but the liquid, although it smells pretty funky, can make incredible blues, purples, greens, and they are amazing to print with, draw with, or dye fabrics with.
Incredible. That's absolutely amazing. That's blown my mind a little bit.
It blew mine as well. I just think it's a fascinating process. I think sometimes some of these traditional crafts, like when I'd read about them before I'd found this book, it felt quite inaccessible, because you kind of need 12 buckets and 6 weeks in some sort of Victorian outhouse that you'd store your dye baths in, and I just thought, oh well, this isn't really very practical for most people. Whereas ink making is very fast, and I'm a fairly impatient maker, so the process really appealed to me on a practical level, but it's also a much more accessible way of making your own colour. That means that you don't need to go to an art shop to make materials for art.
Fabulous. So it truly is accessible, as well as being good for the environment.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and also just, I think for things like if you have children, you go for a walk on, say, the Fallowfield Loop, you can pick blackberries. Once you've squeezed those blackberries, you could still use them to make jam, but maybe if you add a little bit of bicarbonate of soda to that juice, you'll get a different colour, or a bit of salt, you'll get another colour. And so there's a bit of chemistry in there, there's art in there. It's just a really fascinating process.
So, hi everybody, this is your mayor speaking. Amazing job, what an absolutely amazing job. This spirit of Greater Manchester in action, and all of you are fantastic. The difference you're going to make, and all of your organisations are brilliant as well. So thank you to all of the companies involved. MMU, and who else have we got? We've got, I can't name them all, Starlum, Microsoft, we've got to name them all, now it's Archie, Dunsters Farm! We love our Dunsters Farm. But no, we love you all, it's a brilliant thing, and cracking good food, what an amazing thing you've created. Look at this, as I say, it fills me with pride for our city region that we do these things, and you all are here giving your time, helping people. We've got food going, I think, to a bed every night, everywhere tonight. We fund 600 places in a bed every night, every single night in Greater Manchester. And this food will make a massive difference to all of those people. So thank you, everyone. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep building Greater Manchester with us. It's a great place, isn't it? And this is evidence of it. So thank you for letting me come by and get back to work.
Greater Manchester's Mayor Andy Burnham came along to lend his support to the event. He spent time wandering around the different cooking stations and speaking to the volunteers who were making the meals.
Can I just ask you what the importance is of saving food from going to waste and doing great things with it?
In a world where some people are struggling to have enough to eat in a given day, it's heartbreaking, isn't it, to think food is going to waste and then into landfill or whatever. It's just not right. So I'm a big supporter of Fair Share, always have been. Just getting that circular economy going where every little bit of food that's in Greater Manchester should be eaten by somebody in Greater Manchester, and that's got to be a win-win for everybody.
After a long day of chopping, it's nice to do something that isn't chopping.
Yeah.
So pouring things into a container, half, leaving half for the rice is actually really quite satisfying.
It's actually very therapeutic.
It smells amazing.
It does. It does smell really nice.
We're on the final 10 seconds of cooking. All hops will have to go off at 10 seconds. 5. You can see the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Everybody stop cooking. Stop cooking. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your support. We now need to parcel everything up and get them ready for the homeless organisations to come, who will be here from 4 o'clock.
My name's Tracy Torley and I'm the CEO of Cracking Good Food.
So Tracy, the Carnival Cook Up was your brainchild. It's happened. How was it for you?
Oh, God, I just can't believe that it's happened, all that planning, and it's finally come to be and come to pass, and it's amazing. Now the community organisations, the homeless organisations are coming in to collect the food. That is, ultimately what the aim was, to support them. And yeah, they're starting to come in now, so that's absolutely amazing. It's great that the corporate companies who have been supporting us, for them to hear the impact of their hard labour today, because they've been working very hard.
So how many people have you had here today then?
Oh goodness, I think it was in the region of 90. I know that sounds really bad that I don't know the exact number, but it's because some companies, they really, really wanted to come, but they couldn't free up their team members for the whole full day. So they coordinated it between them that, some would come in the morning and then they'd meet here, swap over and go out again. So it's just been a little bit difficult to know who those were that were coming and going, but yeah, about 90.
The atmosphere here, when I spoke to people, was immense, because I think people really appreciated what they were doing and where the food was going.
Okay, well, that's really good to hear, because, when you are sort of on the other side of it, you're organising something, you're just in the midst of it, so you don't actually always look up to see how it's going, or you can't get that true vibe of how it's going. I've had lots of people say how amazing it is, but it's lovely to hear from other quarters as well that it's been really enjoyable. Yeah.
We both work in the sector that's rescuing food from going to waste. How important is it that we rescue it, and especially when there are so many people in Greater Manchester who need the food?
Yeah, it's absolutely vital, isn't it? That, and it's shocking as well. I think that it's something that, as a country, let alone, a borough, that we should be sort of ashamed of, that this food is going to waste, especially when we know that there's so many families and individuals who are really, really struggling. Typically for us on a day-to-day basis, we're primarily about going into communities with our portable kitchen and teaching them how to cook affordable, healthy, nutritious food from scratch. And it's all within an agenda to inform about seasonality and sustainability. But very high on our priorities is informing people how to minimise their food waste. There's so much that you can do with food to make sure that you're getting the most out of it, because so many people are struggling, so why wouldn't we want to get the most out of it? Yeah.
And is there going to be a Carnival Cook Up number 2?
Oh, I don't know if there's any lovely organisations, companies out there who would like to host us. Then yes, I would say most definitely there would be a Carnival Cook Up. I would love there to be a festive version, so a festive cook up. We do a festive cook up on a much smaller scale, November, December time, because again, that is when the homeless organisations are really struggling. They're trying to get so many resources in with limited funds, and if we can, where we can, I consider everybody in the third sector to be like a sister organisation, so we have to help each other. So typically last year we did do a smaller version of Carnival Cook Up called Festive Cook Up, and we did it with 2 companies, so University of Manchester and with KC Construction, and we cooked up around 100 meals each, and they were redistributed to LifeShare and Barnabas. So we're very keen where we can to continue supporting organisations.
The Carnival Cook Up directly supported 13 frontline homelessness organisations across all 10 of the Greater Manchester boroughs, so the impact of this event was felt far and wide. In all, over 1,500 meals were cooked, converting 0.5 ton of surplus food into nutritious meals for those who need it most. One of the organisations benefiting from the Carnival Cook Up's meals was one of our community food members, the Booth Centre from Manchester.
My name's Claire. I'm from the Booth Centre. I'm the kitchen coordinator there.
So what about the food that you're picking up from here? What does it mean to you, and where's it going?
It means a day off for me, which is really important. We've got our fundraiser and our 30th birthday this week, so we're really all hands on deck trying to make some money and make some memories for people so we can relax tomorrow and Thursday. We've got all the foods made, so that's really amazing. It just means that we can be a little bit more relaxed. It's always nice in case there's an emergency, the oven breaks. These are all things that have happened in the past. The oven breaks, dishwasher breaks. We've got stuff in the freezer to call upon, and we don't like to run on empty. So it just means a little bit of breathing space, and we really, really appreciate it because, as you imagine, it's very full-on work. There's a growing demand for hot food in Manchester, and we don't like to turn people away. So it's really nice that people come together and just, chip in. I just walked in and it was so organised. I wanted to come and work in my kitchen for a day.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's good to know and hear where the actual food's going to go to and the benefits it's going to have.
Yes, absolutely. So we had 85 people for lunch today, and it's one of the things, as I'm the cook at the Booth Centre, I'd come up with the menus in co-production with all the centre volunteers who run the kitchen with me. Sometimes I run out of ideas what to cook. Sometimes I repeat things. So I'm excited to see what we've got and maybe have some inspiration from around the world. So that's exciting for me personally. And probably the guests are excited to have something different than my cooking. And it's with the hot weather, we're busier than ever. And it means next week I can concentrate on maybe getting some more cold drinks out, maybe some more fruit and vegetables. And we'll have saved money, which is essential. A day's cooking costs us about £80, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up. And this will save us that.
It was great to be able to see Fair Share food being turned into tasty, nutritious meals, which were really needed, and to experience the atmosphere at the Carnival Cook Up. Thank you to everyone who spoke to us for this episode of the Food Stories podcast. If you're involved with a charity or a community group in Greater Manchester and would like to find out how you could get surplus good-to-eat food from us to help serve your local community, please get in touch with Karina, our membership and information coordinator. You can find Karina's email address and phone number in the show notes for this episode on your podcast app and on the Fair Share Greater Manchester website. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and think someone you know would enjoy listening to, please share it. The more people who know about what we do at FareShare Greater Manchester, the more people we can try to help. Make sure you're following FareShare Greater Manchester on social media so you can keep right up to date with all of our news. And if you follow Food Stories from FareShare Greater Manchester on your favourite podcast app, you won't miss out on our next episode when it comes out. Until next time, thanks for listening.